Hello, my name is Johnny Lee Giard, Manager of Customer Success Engineering at Parsec, and today I'm super excited to be giving a quick overview of the first iteration of our new virtual USB driver, which features full support for Wacom drawing tablets and pens, including support for WinTab, and removes a dependency on a third-party driver that was previously used for gamepad emulation. First thing to call out here is all existing tablet and pen functionality previously enabled via Windows Ink, as well as gamepad emulation and custom mapping previously enabled by the vGem driver remains supported with the new virtual USB driver. Although not much has changed in terms of support for enhanced gamepad functionality, we do plan to expand on this driver to enable features like DualSense 5 haptics, so stay tuned there. Nonetheless, you'll still be able to emulate Xbox controllers and DualShock 4 controllers with touchpad support, just as you've been able to do historically with Parsec. On the tablet and pen side of the house, we now fully support 2017 or later Wacom tablets and pens. We are excited to announce WinTab support and the ability to leverage your express keys, touch ring, and barrel and eraser buttons, enabling Parsec to deliver an experience that feels like you're sitting right in front of your actual workstation. Even better, as of November 28, 2022, the new driver is installed automatically. However, if you installed Parsec before then, you may need to install the driver manually. If you haven't done so already, let's walk through that real quick and then step through how to configure things. So the first thing I'll show is manually installing the new virtual USB driver. Again, this is only required if you've installed Parsec prior to November 28th of 2022. Installs after November 28th of 2022 should have the new virtual USB driver installed by default. So the first thing that we'll need to do is open up the Parsec application. When the Parsec app is opened, you can click on the settings cog and then click on the host tab. And if we scroll almost all the way to the bottom here, we'll see that there are two items, virtual tablet and Parsec virtual USB gamepads. In this case, we see that the driver is not installed. One thing to note, the driver for both of these is the same. So if you download and install the Parsec virtual USB driver linked under virtual tablet, that will also work for the Parsec virtual USB gamepads. So let's go ahead and download the virtual USB driver. We do this by clicking on the link in the application. It'll open up your web browser to download the executable, and we'll click to open it. It'll automatically install when we launch the executable. All we have to do is press close. If we look at the Parsec application now, we can see that driver version 1.1 is installed for both virtual tablet and Parsec virtual USB gamepads. Next, we'll walk through how to configure the Parsec application settings on the host side, as well as the Wacom tablet properties on the host side. So first thing that we need to do is open up the Parsec application on the host. We will go to the settings by clicking on the cog, then click on the host tab at the top, and again scroll almost all the way down to the bottom. We'll see next to virtual tablet, there is a drop-down menu where we can select on or off. We will want to make sure that this is on. This will allow the Parsec application to virtualize a Wacom into his Pro device and accept WinTab from the client and inject WinTab input onto the host. If this setting is set to off, then only Windows Ink based input will work on the host computer. The next thing we need to do is configure the Wacom tablet properties. So to do that, we will go ahead and launch the Wacom tablet properties application, and we'll navigate to the pen or stylus, in this case, my Pro Pen 2. On the mapping tab, there are a few settings that need to be configured in a specific way. However, there are other settings that we do allow some customization on. So let's cover these first. The orientation must be set to express keys left. The mode must be set to pen. Screen area is set to full. In most cases, you'll want screen area set to full, especially when you have multiple monitors or displays plugged into your host computer, and you need your pen and tablet input to work across those screens or displays. If you set screen area to a certain monitor, then the pen and tablet input will be isolated to the monitor that you select here. So in general, screen area should be set to full. Tablet area will also set to full, and force proportions should be disabled. A setting that you can change on this page, aside from the screen area, is use Windows Ink. For all intents and purposes of this recording, we are showing how to configure a host computer and client to use WinTab instead of Windows Ink. So in this case, we will have Windows Ink disabled on the host. The other things that we can configure, if we go to the Pin tab, you can configure your barrel buttons for specific functions based on whatever you want to include here or configure there. Also, the sensitivity and the feel can be adjusted as needed. So in order to have your stylus or pen pressure, tilt, and rotation sensitivity, we'll need to make sure that enhanced pen is set to on. This is in the Parsec application. So again, on the client side, the computer that you're connecting from, the computer that's physically in front of you, you'll launch the Parsec application. Click on the settings cog, the client tab, and then make sure enhanced pen is set to on. If enhanced pen is set to off, the input that is sent to the host will be interpreted as mouse input. The next thing we'll need to do is take a look at the Wacom tablet properties and say whether or not we want to use Windows Ink. For all intents and purposes of this recording, we are showing how to use WinTab. So in this case, we will want to make sure that Windows Ink is disabled in the Wacom tablet properties. So again, to do that, just as we did on the host, we will launch the Wacom tablet properties. We will go to the pen or stylus settings. If we click on the mapping tab, if Windows Ink is set to enabled or use Windows Ink, we will want to make sure that we disable that. In order to use WinTab, if this is already disabled, then we are good to go, and you should be using WinTab for your tablet and pen input. All right, and the last thing I have for us today is how to use the new virtual USB driver to emulate Xbox 360 or DualShock 4 controller input on the host. This means that you can plug any controller into the USB port on your client computer. Again, that's the computer you are connecting from, the computer sitting in front of you, and send that gamepad or controller input to the host computer, the computer that you're connecting to, and have that input emulated as Xbox 360 controller input or DualShock 4 controller input. This is the exact same functionality that we have had historically using the vGem driver. However, in this case, this functionality now exists in our new virtual USB driver, and we will continue to iterate on this driver to provide more advanced features in the future, like DS5 haptics. So to use the new virtual USB driver to emulate gamepad or controller input, you'll need to launch the Parsec application on the host computer. Click on the settings cog, the host tab, and scroll again almost all the way down to the bottom. Next to Parsec virtual USB gamepads, we'll want to make sure that this is set to enabled. If this is set to disabled, we will try to use the vGem USB driver, but for all intents and purposes of this recording, we are showing how to use the new virtual USB driver, so we'll set this to enabled. Like I mentioned before, the input is emulated as Xbox 360 controller input or DualShock 4 or PS4 controller input. So to choose which controller or platform you'd like to emulate, you'll select this from the drop-down menu here. And that's all I have for us today. Just a couple of quick things to note here. You can find additional documentation on this by going to https://support.parsec.app. Also, our support team is available. If you need any assistance, they can be reached at support@parsec.app. And thank you very much.